All right, let's jump right in. We're going deep on all the crazy football transfer news, and trust me, things are already heating up.
Oh yeah, the January window is always a wild ride.
It really is. We've got a ton of articles here from, well, basically every major sports news outlet.
Huh.
Confirmed deals, juicy rumors, and the experts weighing in with their predictions.
Sounds like we've got a lot to cover.
We do. So let's dive into it, shall we? The mission today is to go beyond just the headlines. We want to figure out the why, the what next, and maybe uncover a few surprises along the way. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So first up, let's talk about some players who might be packing their bags soon. Ben Godfrey's name keeps popping up, linked with a move back to the Premier League. Which is kind of strange, right? Because he just joined Atalanta last summer.
Yeah, you don't usually see a move back so quickly after a big transfer. It seems like he's had trouble getting consistent playing time at Atalanta.
Exactly. And the word on the street is he might be heading back to England, specifically to Ipswich Town. Makes you wonder if, maybe he just didn't quite settle in Italy.
Could be. It's a big adjustment, moving to a new league, a new country, a whole new style of play. Maybe he just wasn't a good fit for their system.
And Ipswich are getting a player with solid Premier League experience from his time at Everton and Norwich City.
Right, so it could be a win-win. Godfrey gets to prove himself again in a familiar environment, and Ipswich get a boost to their squad.
Makes sense. Okay, so another player who might be on the move is Max Aarons, the Bournemouth defender. Apparently, Lille is interested in him.
Ah, that's an interesting one. Aarons is a really promising young player. Lots of potential.
Yeah, and unlike Godfrey, it sounds like he's specifically looking for more playing time.
Which is totally fair. At his age, he needs to be on the pitch as much as possible to develop his game. And you know what's cool about this potential transfer? He might actually reunite with his old England U21 teammate Angel Gomes at Lille.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a personal connection there.
Exactly. That could definitely influence his decision. Imagine those two linking up again, this time in France. It could be a great story.
That's a fantastic point. All right, so let's switch gears now and talk about a transfer that's already done and dusted. Antonin Kinski to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, Tottenham moved quickly on that one.
It seems like they really needed a solid keeper, especially with Guglielmo Vicario out with a long-term injury. And, Fraser Forster hasn't been exactly stellar lately.
Right, it was definitely a position they needed to address. And they've gone and gotten Kinski from Slavia Prague, a keeper with a really impressive track record.
He kept 14 clean sheets in 29 appearances for Slavia Prague this season.
Exactly. And the fee is reportedly around 12.5 million, which could go up with add-ons. Shows how serious they are about fixing that goalkeeper situation.
It'll be interesting to see how he adapts to the Premier League, though. It's a whole different beast. Okay, ready for some transfer gossip that has everyone buzzing?
Hit me with it.
There's a rumor going around that Marcus Rashford might be heading to AC Milan on loan.
Wow, now that's a twist.
Right.
But, it makes you wonder what's going on with Rashford at Manchester United. He's clearly a talented player.
Absolutely. He's got so much potential.
But something's not clicking there. He's out of favor with the manager, and it seems like he's looking for a fresh start.
And get this. Apparently, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is involved in Milan's pursuit of Rashford.
Seriously, that's wild. Remember when those two played together at Manchester United? Talk about a clash of personality.
Oh, yeah, I remember. They were such an interesting duo, with their contrasting styles. To see them potentially reunite in Milan would be fascinating.
It really would. But let's be real. Rashford's wages are a major obstacle to any deal.
Yeah, he's earning a lot at Manchester United.
Exactly. So a loan move makes the most sense. Milan gets to try him out without a huge commitment, and Manchester United gets some financial breathing room.
Speaking of things that make you wonder, did you see that penalty decision that went Brighton's way against Arsenal?
Oh, you mean the João Pedro penalty? Yeah, that was a controversial one.
It was. Gary Lineker and the Match of the Day pundits were practically speechless.
They couldn't believe it was given.
They were saying it was just two players going for the ball, nothing more.
And they had a point. You rarely see penalties given for aerial challenges like that one.
That's true. But then again, shouldn't officiating be consistent? Regardless of whether it's an aerial duel or a tackle on the ground.
You're right. Consistency is key. And in a title race as tight as this one, those decisions can have huge consequences. I mean, Arsenal dropping points because of a questionable penalty call, that could change everything.
Absolutely. So this whole incident raises some serious questions. What are the standards for giving a penalty?
Exactly. Where do you draw the line? And I think this debate is going to rage on for a while.
Okay, Let's move on to some transfer rumors that are sending fans into a frenzy. Andrew Omobamidele, the Nottingham Forest defender, is apparently on the radar of both Leeds United and Sheffield United.
Omo Bamidele. Now, he's a solid player.
He is. And get this, both Leeds and Sheffield are looking to get promoted to the Premier League.
Oh, wow. So this is about more than just getting a good player.
Exactly. It could be a game changer in the championship. Whoever gets Onobamidele might just get that extra edge they need to reach the Premier League.
It's like a strategic arms race. Both clubs see him as a key piece in their promotion puzzle.
Absolutely. So we've got competition brewing, high stakes, and a young, talented player in the middle of it all. Sounds like this transfer saga is just getting started.
It definitely is. Buckle up, because things are about to get interesting.
Okay, brace yourselves, folks.
Yeah.
Because we've got a bombshell to drop. The rumor mill is churning, and it's spitting out some news that's sending shockwaves through the football world.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Mohamed Salah has reportedly confirmed that he won't be renewing his contract with Liverpool.
Whoa. Hold on, seriously. Salah. Leaving Liverpool. This is massive. He's been the heart and soul of that team.
I know, it's huge. It has everyone wondering, what does this mean for Liverpool?
I mean, think about it. He's been their talisman, their goal-scoring machine. Replacing him is going to be a monumental task. Who could possibly fill those shoes?
Yeah, finding someone who can replicate his goal-scoring ability, his creativity, it's going to be tough.
This could completely change the course of Liverpool's future.
Okay, so while everyone's trying to wrap their heads around the Salah bombshell, there's another Liverpool story developing, and it involves Trent Alexander-Arnold. Apparently, the club has offered him a massive new contract to try and ward off interest from Real Madrid.
Wow, Real Madrid's sniffing around Alexander-Arnold. That's not surprising. He's one of the most exciting fullbacks in the world.
He is. And the contract offer from Liverpool is pretty tempting. We're talking 5 years and potentially £78 million.
Yeah, they're pulling out all the stops to keep him at Anfield.
But, Real Madrid has a certain allure, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. The history, the prestige, the chance to play alongside some of the biggest names in the game, it's a dream for a lot of players.
So it comes down to a classic dilemma: loyalty versus ambition.
It really does. And you have to wonder, will Alexander-Arnold be tempted by the bright lights of Madrid? Or will he stay true to his boyhood club?
It's a tough choice, especially when you factor in Liverpool's recent struggles. Players want to win trophies, they want to be at the top of their game. And right now, Liverpool isn't quite there.
It's true. This is going to be a fascinating story to follow. Will he stay or will he go? Only time will tell.
All right, before we move on, I just want to touch on something we mentioned earlier about Andrew Omobamidele and that battle between Leeds and Sheffield for his signature.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It's a perfect example of how the championship is so incredibly competitive. Every transfer, every new player can have a massive impact on the promotion race.
It's true. And for those clubs, it's not just about getting a talented player, it's about getting one over on their rivals.
Exactly. There's a psychological element to it as well.
Absolutely. It's all part of the drama and excitement of the championship.
It really is.
Okay, so we've talked about players on the move, potential transfers, and some big money deals. But we can't forget about the young guns, the rising stars who are making a name for themselves.
Oh, yeah. Those are the stories that get me really excited. The future of the game.
Exactly. And we've got a brilliant example right here. Ethan Nwaneri, the Arsenal wonder kid. This kid is breaking records left and right.
Seriously, scoring 2 Premier League goals before turning 18? That's insane.
I know. It's unheard of. He's already in the same conversation as legends like Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen.
That's crazy. And you know what I love about it? It shows that Arsenal is committed to developing young talent. They're not afraid to give these kids a chance to shine.
Yeah, it's a great example for other clubs to follow. Nurture your young players, give them opportunities, and who knows, you might just unearth the next superstar.
You never know where the next gem is going to come from, and that's what makes it so exciting. You've got to keep your eye on those young players because they could be the ones who change the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a big question mark hanging over Anfield right now.
What do you think this means for Liverpool, both on and off the pitch?
Well, on the pitch, finding someone to replace Salah's goals and creativity, that's going to be a huge challenge, They'll need someone who can slot right into their system and keep that attack firing.
Makes sense.
But off the pitch, I think it could have even bigger implications. Think about their transfer budget, and what this does to other players' contracts.
Yeah, if a star player like Salah doesn't see his future at the club, what does that say to other top talents they might be trying to attract?
Right. It's like a domino effect. This one decision could really reshape Liverpool's future.
It's wild. While we're talking about Liverpool, we can't ignore this Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. I mean, they've offered him a crazy good contract to keep him away from Real Madrid.
Yeah, it shows you how much they value him. He's a world-class right back, and his attacking ability, I mean, any team would want him.
5 years, potentially £78 million. That's a lot of money.
It is, but money isn't everything, right?
Right. What else might be going through Alexander-Arnold's mind?
Well, he's a local lad, came up through the ranks at Liverpool. There's a lot of loyalty there, a connection to the club and the fans. Leaving wouldn't be easy.
Yeah, I can see that.
But on the other hand, Real Madrid, that's a whole other level of prestige. The history, the global appeal, playing with some of the best in the world, it's got to be tempting.
It's that age-old battle. Ambition versus loyalty.
Exactly. And I wonder if Liverpool's recent struggles are playing a part in his decision. Players want to win. They want to be at the top.
True. If he feels like Liverpool can't give him that, maybe he'll look elsewhere.
It's a tough call. This is going to be an interesting one to watch unfold.
Definitely. Now, remember, Andrew Omobamidele, the defender who might be going to either Leeds or Sheffield.
Oh, yeah. That transfer battle is getting pretty intense.
It is. And it all comes down to this.
Yeah.
Both clubs want to get promoted to the Premier League. So getting a player like Omobamidele
could be the difference maker. He's a reliable defender, knows the championship well, and he can play out from the back, which is how both Leeds and Sheffield like to play.
Right. It's like they're both thinking, if we get him, our defense is solid, we win more games, we get promoted.
Exactly. It's all part of the strategy, The championship is such a grind. Any advantage you can get is huge.
So true. All right, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about Ethan Nwaneri. This young guy at Arsenal, he's been absolutely incredible.
He's been unbelievable, scoring 2 Premier League goals before turning 18. That's special.
I know. It's putting him in the same category as some serious legends like Rooney and Owen.
It's not just the goals, either. It's his maturity, his awareness on the pitch. To handle Premier League pressure at that age, remarkable.
It's like he's been playing at this level for years. What do you think about how Arsenal is bringing these young players into the first team?
I think they're doing a fantastic job. They're giving these young guys a real chance to shine, and it's clearly paying off. Look at Nwaneri. He's a product of their academy, and now he's breaking records.
It's inspiring to see, It shows that age is just a number if you've got the talent and the work ethic.
Absolutely. Nwaneri's story is a great example for any young footballer out there. If you put in the work, anything is possible.
So true. All right, let's loop back to this Mohamed Salah situation for a second. It's still sinking in,
I know. It's a big deal. It really highlights how quickly things can change in football. 1 minute, you're a legend at a club. The next.
You're looking for a new challenge. It's unsettling for Liverpool fans, but maybe it's an opportunity for the club to rebuild, to start a new chapter.
Exactly. Change can be scary, but it can also lead to growth and new possibilities.
And speaking of change, what about Trent Alexander-Arnold? This Real Madrid interest adds a whole new layer to his story.
It does. It's like a classic transfer saga. World-class player, divided loyalties, the allure of one of the biggest clubs on the planet.
How do you think this affects Alexander-Arnold's decision?
Well, knowing Real Madrid wants you, that's a big deal for any player. It's validation,
Right.
It means you're one of the best in the world. And who wouldn't want to play for a club with that kind of history and prestige?
It's true, but it's not just about the name on the shirt, right?
Right. There's playing time, his role on the team, the overall direction of the club. It's complicated.
It is. There are a lot of factors to consider. This is a massive decision for him, and it'll have a big impact on both clubs. It's what makes the transfer window so exciting, isn't it? It's not just about the money. It's about these human stories, these decisions that can change lives and careers.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that there are real people behind all the headlines and rumors. These are players with families, dreams, ambitions, and their choices have a ripple effect on everyone around them.
It adds another dimension to what we're seeing, doesn't it?
It does. It reminds us that football is more than just a game. It's a human drama playing out on a global stage.
It's a great point. And while we've been focused on the big names and the blockbuster deals, let's not forget about those smaller transfers, the ones that don't always grab the headlines.
Oh yeah, those under-the-radar signings can sometimes be the most impactful.
Exactly. You never know. That young prospect moving to a new club or that loan deal that nobody's talking about.
Could turn out to be a hidden gem, a player who explodes onto the scene and changes everything.
It's a reminder that the transfer window is full of surprises,
Yeah.
and that the most important moves aren't always the ones with the biggest price tags.
Exactly. It's about finding the right pieces to fit the puzzle, whether they're big names or hidden talents.
That's what makes this whole process so fascinating. It's like watching the building blocks of future success being put into place.
It is, and the January window is crucial for that. Clubs are reassessing, adjusting their strategies, trying to find that missing piece that'll help them achieve their goals.
It's a time of opportunity, both for clubs and for players. A chance to reshape destinies, to chase new dreams, and to write the next chapter in their footballing stories.
Yeah, it's a chance to hit the reset button, right? To look at what's working, what's not, and make some changes that could turn their season around. It's like a mid-season transfer window for their strategy. And, that reminds me of that battle we were talking about between Leeds and Sheffield, both trying to snag Andrew Omobamidele.
Oh yeah, that one's getting interesting. It shows you how one player's decision can really shake things up, especially in a tight race like the championship.
Totally. They're both desperate to get promoted, and adding a defender like him could be the deciding factor, absolutely. It makes the second half of the season even more exciting. For the fans, every single transfer, every decision feels huge because it could be the difference between reaching the Premier League or another year in the championship.
It's all about those fine margins, right? Finding that one player who can tip the scales in your favor. And speaking of making a difference, I think we need to give Ethan Nwaneri another shout out. Scoring those goals at his age in the Premier League. Just incredible.
It really is. And it's not just the goals themselves, it's the way he plays. He's so calm under pressure, so aware of what's happening around him. You'd never guess he's only 17.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he? Like he's been doing this for years. What's your take on how Arsenal is handling these young players, bringing them into the first team, giving them a chance to shine?
I think they've got a really good system in place. It's about nurturing the talent, but also giving them opportunities to prove themselves at the highest level. Nwaneri is a perfect example. He came up through their academy, and now look at him.
It's proof that their philosophy is working. And for young players, knowing that the club believes in them, that they'll get a chance to play, that's got to be so motivating.
Absolutely. It creates this positive environment where they can develop their skills without being afraid to make mistakes.
It's a win-win for everyone, right?
Yeah.
The players get better, the club benefits, and the fans get to see these amazing young talents blossom. All right, so as we wrap up our deep dive into this crazy transfer window, one thing's clear. It's been a wild ride. Drama, speculation, big money deals, and some really intriguing moves that could change the game.
It has been. It's fascinating to see how clubs are thinking ahead, investing in their futures and trying to build something special.
And we've seen some incredible young players like Ethan Nwaneri who are ready to take the world by storm. The transfer window, it's all about ambition, about striving for success, and the constant evolution of football.
Yeah, it's a reminder that football never stands still. It's always changing. And the transfer market, that's where those changes happen. That's where the future of the game is shaped. One last thought before we go. We tend to focus on the immediate impact of these transfers, but the real test is what happens next.
What do you mean?
Well, some of these moves that seem small now, they might turn out to be game changers down the line. And some of the big money signings, they might not live up to the hype. It takes time to see how it all plays out.
That's a great point. The transfer window is just one chapter in the story. The real excitement comes when we see how these players perform on the pitch, how they adapt to their new teams, and how the clubs themselves navigate the challenges ahead. So to all our listeners out there, stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. The game goes on, and we can't wait to see what happens.